And now we have new details tonight on a shooting arrest in Cedar Rapids. Police say 39-year-old Brian Wilson was shot last night at his home in the 2000 block of 29th Avenue. He was taken to St. Luke's Hospital, but there is no word tonight on his condition. One of Wilson's neighbors, 42-year-old Joseph Pham, was arrested for that shooting. He is in the Lynn County Jail tonight, and I sat down with the suspect's family for this story.
I heard some screaming and then a gunshot.
On the sidewalk near Katie Pham's home, bloodstains are still on the ground, the end result of a neighborhood dispute. Investigators say it was her father, 42-year-old Joseph Pham, who shot his next-door neighbor, Brian Wilson. Katie says that her family has had an ongoing beef with the neighbors.
They told him to go back to his country and he doesn't belong here.
The family shared with CBS 2 a binder full of police reports. They say it documents the ongoing struggle.
7 years of continuously, having physical things done to him, verbal, anything you can imagine. They've had the cops here over 100 times.
The family says bricks have been thrown through their windows, and at one point the children have been targeted.
His oldest daughter, Kathy, she would be outside playing and they would throw diapers filled with feces at her. They throw dog feces at the little kids.
The fam say things got so bad that at one point a judge had to issue an order of protection.
When your dad got the order of protection, did you guys think it would be over then?
No, we knew that's going to continue.
In 2010, Joseph Pham wrote a letter to the Department of Justice pleading for help. But in the end, people close to the fam say he finally snapped.
He bought a gun for just in case. If something were to happen, he wants to protect his kids, his wife, That's all he has.
And I should mention tonight, I knocked on the door of the victim's home to see if anyone wanted to talk with us, but no one was home. As for Pham, again, he's been charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of intimidation with a deadly weapon. He is being held tonight on $100,000 cash bond. An Iowa City mother and her boyfriend are now both charged with the death of a toddler. 20-month-old Marcus Banderas was taken from his home to the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics in April for breathing trouble. He was pronounced dead shortly after. 20-year-old Jorge Perez was arrested on child endangerment charges for leaving the child alone in the home earlier that month. Tonight, both Perez and the child's mother, 18-year-old Maria Banderas, are charged with child endangerment resulting in death. The autopsy report shows broken ribs, bruises, and bleeding in the brain. Officers say Perez admitted to physically abusing the child, and then Banderas admitted to choosing Perez over the child's safety. Also in Iowa City, a man is arrested for touching 4 children inappropriately. Police say 28-year-old Naimbu Mukambawa approached 4 girls between the ages of 4 and 14 on Roberts Road in Iowa City. He is accused of touching their chest inappropriately over their clothes and putting his arm around one of the girls when she tried to pull away. None of the victims knew the suspect. He remains in the Johnson County Jail. If you are heading out tonight, you may want to avoid the busy section of Northeast Cedar Rapids. Construction just began a few hours ago on the intersection of 1st Avenue and Collins Road. Traffic is reduced to 1 lane in that area while crews put asphalt on the roadways. Officials say they expect the delays to be lengthy tonight, but should be able to finish by early tomorrow morning. Despite those delays, driving in Cedar Rapids is cheaper today, but that's not the case in many Iowa cities. Despite the delays, driving in Cedar Rapids isn't as expensive as other Iowa cities. According to GasBuddy.com, the average price of gas in the state went up this weekend. It's now $3.36 per gallon, making Iowa number 15 in the U.S. for cheapest gas. Iowa was in the top 10 a month ago and stayed at number 11 for about 2 weeks. Near Broadcast Park, we found found prices as low as $3.26. And if you're worried about finding the best deal in your area, just use our gas gauge feature at kgan.com. If you're doing business with Lynn County this week, you may have some trouble getting it done. Starting tomorrow, the county offices will start moving from Westdale Mall to the Gene Oxley Public Service Center. That was the original home for those offices before the floods of 2008 caused significant damage. Renovations cost nearly $15 million. Firefighters and their loved ones gathered in Coralville today to honor their fallen brothers. The family of a firefighter who paid the ultimate sacrifice more than 4 decades ago was there for the tribute. David Scanlon shares their emotional story at that ceremony.
It's very important to the families.
Families from all over the state share this day to remember loved ones who dedicated their lives to helping others as firefighters.
Chris and John will forever be part of our Iowa City Fire Department family.
From Iowa City to Cedar Rapids, communities joined together,
Carl Carlson, Cherokee,
ringing a bell and honoring those memorialized here.
We care, the people care, the fire departments care.
Laying wreaths for their loved ones, connecting with them through these walls.
104 names were added to the memorial walls this year. One man, James Lawrence Willis, paid the ultimate sacrifice many years ago.
For Terry Novotny, this day brings closure. Her father died fighting a fire in Centerville in 1968 when she was just 7 years old.
All I know that I was at home, and the next morning I woke up and, was told that he had passed away. Touch it. Put your hand up there.
Her children and grandchildren are by her side for the service.
He never got to know them, but, he sees them from heaven, so I miss him a lot.
Like I said, they've lost a loved one, but to have them honored this way and to know that their name is going to be on that wall forever, it's got to make them proud.
Pride Terry feels as firefighters who never knew her father pay tribute to him as one of their own.
They're there for the people that need them.
Covering the corridor in Coralville, David Scanlon, CBS 2 News.
The memorial is only 18 years old, but it is still working to honor the firefighters who have died. So far, more than 2,200 firefighters have their names etched in the memorial walls. CBS 2 connects with you. If you see news happens, call us at 1-800-222-KGAN. Also, email your news tips to kgan.com. Searchers are looking for 2 missing men in the Mississippi River tonight. The first search is in Dubuque County, where the deputies have been trying to locate a missing man all weekend. The 30-year-old was last seen at Massey Marina around 2 Saturday morning. Deputies and firefighters resumed their search today. Investigators are not releasing the name of that man at this point. The second search is on for the Mississippi River in Scott County. A 27-year-old Clinton man was last seen along the waters in Princeton Saturday night. That man fell out of the boat and never resurfaced. Police are now treating the search as a recovery effort. Several people are out of a home after their house catches fire in Worthington. Several fire departments responded just after 3:30 this morning to the house fire on 1st Street. Crews estimate the damage at $200,000, making the house a total loss. Police believe no one was home at the time, but the Dubuque County Sheriff is investigating. The Red Cross is helping the residents with shelter and basic needs. An art fest dedicated to one of Iowa's most famous artists drew crowds to Anamosa today. The Grant Wood Arts Festival is working to preserve the memory of the American Gothic artist while encouraging others to follow in his footsteps. Music provided a backdrop to the festivities as visitors took a look at the works of local artists. The goal of the festival was to give Eastern Iowan artists the opportunity to share their work. Organizers say they hope to pass on the value of Grant Wood to today's emerging Iowa artists.
He is an Eastern Iowan through and through. When he went away to travel the world to learn how to be an artist, he ended up coming back here and painting what he knew.
The Anamosa Library also featured an original Grant Wood art exhibit today, the festival's 40th anniversary. Former college players shot to death. Coming up on the CBS 2 News, the shooting near Auburn University that killed 3 people and the person police are still searching for tonight. Plus a close one, the big battle for the colonels as Clinton comes to town.